You are.
Cold. Not the kind of cold you fix with a thermostat. Not the kind you escape by pulling on a hoodie. You are bone-deep, muscle-shaking, survival-level cold. And there is no fire. There is no shelter waiting for you. There is only the wind, the dark, and your body. What do you do? I'm h1roPenguin. Just sit nicely and watch with me, by the way. For a long stretch of human prehistory, this was not a hypothetical. It was Tuesday. Fire, as a controlled, reliable, on-demand tool, came late for our species. Anatomically modern humans have existed for roughly 300,000 years. The oldest unambiguous evidence of consistent fire use at a single site, Wonderwork Cave in South Africa, dates to about 1,000,000 years ago for our ancestors, but widespread habitual firemaking across all early human populations is far more recent. For enormous periods of deep prehistory, your ancestors had to solve the cold with nothing but their bodies, their social bonds, and whatever the land could offer. And they solved it. Brilliantly. The first thing you need to understand is that your body already knows how to fight the cold. It has been doing it for far longer than you have been alive. When your core temperature starts to drop, your brain sends signals to constrict the blood vessels near your skin. This is called vasoconstriction. It is your body pulling warm blood away from the surface and protecting your vital organs. Your hands go cold, so your heart stays warm. Your feet go numb, so your brain keeps firing. You are not malfunctioning in the cold. You are executing a strategy that was refined over millions of years. Then come the muscles. Your body triggers rapid, involuntary contractions. Shivering. You have probably always thought of shivering as a sign of weakness, of suffering. It is the opposite. Shivering is metabolic fire. It can increase your body's heat production by up to 5 times its resting rate. Your muscles are literally burning fuel to generate warmth. You are a furnace wrapped in skin. But the body can only do so much on its own. And your ancestors knew it. The single most powerful survival tool available to early humans was not a spear. It was not a hand axe. It was another person. Thermal sharing, the practice of huddling together to pool body heat, is one of the oldest and most universal behaviors in the mammalian world. Primatologist Robin Dunbar, best known for his research into social group sizes, has argued that physical closeness and social bonding were deeply intertwined in early human evolution. Grooming, huddling, sleeping in contact with others. These were not just social customs. They were thermoregulatory strategies. When you sleep pressed against another body, you are not just being social. You are having your heat loss. In cold environments, a group of people sleeping together in a pile, what researchers studying modern forager communities sometimes call communal sleep clustering, can maintain a warm microclimate inside the group even when temperatures outside plummet. The bodies at the edges shield the bodies at the center. Then they rotate. Sleep itself was different then. Not the rigid 8-hour block modern life demands. Research by Jerome Siegel, a sleep scientist at UCLA who studied modern hunter-gatherer groups including the Hadza in Tanzania and the San in the Kalahari, found that these populations sleep in flexible, fragmented patterns. They wake during cold hours. They stoke social contact. They move. They do not lie still and freeze. Sleep was a living, adaptive behavior, not a passive shutdown. But thermal sharing only goes so far when the air itself is a threat. Your ancestors turned to the land for insulation. Animal hides are one of the oldest technologies in human history, and one of the most underappreciated. The oldest direct evidence of hide working comes from sites like Blombos Cave in South Africa, where archaeologists have found ochre processing tools and bone tools that may have been used for scraping hides as far back as 100,000 years ago. But the behavioral evidence for clothing goes deeper. Scientists have used a remarkable method to estimate when humans began wearing clothes. They tracked the evolutionary divergence of body lice from head lice. Body lice, unlike head lice, live in clothing. They need fabric to survive. Geneticist Mark Stoneking and colleagues conducted research suggesting this divergence happened roughly 170,000 years ago, which means your ancestors were wearing something for insulation at least that far back. That something was likely animal skin. Thick, fur-lined, with a dead air layer trapped inside the pelt that functions almost identically to modern synthetic insulation. You did not need Gore-Tex. You needed to kill something large, scrape the hide clean, work it until it was supple, and wear it against your body. The fat you left behind on the hide helped too. Lanolin from sheep fat, bone marrow grease, brain matter worked into cured hides. These were not random. Fat is one of the best natural water repellents available. And underneath the hide, more insulation, dry grass, dry leaves, shredded plant fiber packed against the skin. Archaeologist Ian Gilligan, who has written extensively on the evolution of clothing and thermal adaptation, has documented how even simple plant-based insulation placed between the body and a hide outer layer dramatically increases warmth retention. Dead air is the key ingredient in any insulation system, then or now. Trap it, and you trap heat. Your ancestors understood this not as physics, but as survival knowledge passed body to body across generations. Speaking of the body itself, there is one more adaptation you carry that almost no one talks about. Brown adipose tissue. Brown fat. Not the kind of fat you worry about losing. A specialized metabolic tissue that does nothing but generate heat by burning calories directly. Infants have large deposits of it, concentrated around the spine, kidneys, and upper back. For decades, scientists believed adults lost most of theirs. Then, in 2009, researchers publishing in the New England Journal of Medicine confirmed that adult humans retain functional brown fat, particularly in people who are regularly exposed to cold. The cold activates it. Your ancestors, living outdoors without climate control, almost certainly had more active brown fat than you do now. Cold exposure was not just something they endured. It trained their bodies to produce heat more efficiently. Now let us reconstruct a specific moment. You are somewhere in Europe, roughly 40,000 years ago. It is the middle of the last glacial maximum. The temperature tonight will drop to -15 Celsius. You are in a shallow rock overhang, not deep enough to be a cave, not exposed enough to catch full wind. You chose this spot deliberately. Everyone in your group of roughly 20 people knows the spot. Before dark, you gathered dry grass and piled it on the ground. You are sleeping on insulation, not against cold rock. The hides you killed and processed over the past weeks are layered over the group. 7 bodies, maybe 8, pressing together. Children in the middle. The oldest people along one edge, their experience the reason you chose this specific overhang and not the one 2 ridges east, which faces the wind wrong. Around midnight you wake. Someone on the outside of the pile is shivering hard. Without words, without a plan, the group shifts. He rolls inward. You take the edge for a while. Your brown fat hums quietly. Your vasoconstriction is doing its job. By dawn you are alive. No fire. No tent. No synthetic sleeping bag rated to -30. Just bodies, knowledge, and 10,000 generations of refinement telling you exactly what to do. Here is the counterintuitive truth at the heart of this. The cold did not just threaten early humans. It shaped them. Cold environments drove the development of planning, of material culture, of cooperative behavior. Some researchers, including archaeologist Clive Finlayson in his work on Neanderthal survival, have argued that cold weather adaptation was one of the primary drivers of the cognitive and social complexity that defines us. You had to think ahead. You had to cooperate. You had to remember. The cold demanded it, and the humans who could meet that demand survived to have you. There is a reason why, when modern researchers study cold-hardened populations like the Inuit or the Sami reindeer herders of northern Scandinavia, they find not just cultural adaptation, but physiological differences in metabolic rate, in cold-induced vasoconstriction response, in the distribution of insulating fat. The body listens to its environment. It always has. And here is what that means for you. Sitting warm and dry and comfortable right now. The cold is still in you. Not as a threat you need to manage, but as a system you were built with. The vasoconstriction. The shivering reflex. The brown fat waiting to be activated. The deep instinct to move toward other bodies when the temperature drops. Every winter morning when you pull someone close or reach for an extra blanket or feel that involuntary shiver run through you, you are not being weak. You are being exactly what your ancestors built you to be. A furnace wrapped in skin, 300,000 years in the making. If you enjoyed this, please give me a like and a subscribe for the video to have more motivation to make more. See you at the next video. Peace out.